Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 5, Action in Krishna Consciousness. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. And controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence, a transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils. One who is free from anger and all material desires, who is self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, is assured of liberation in the very near future. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are always engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living entities, and who are free from all sins, are assured attain liberation in the Supreme. Those whose happiness is within, who are active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, is actually a perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme, and ultimately he attains the Supreme. Before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is well situated and is happy in this world. Intelligent person does not take part in the sources of miseries which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasures, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. One who neither rejoices upon gaining something pleasant, nor laments upon attaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. The humble sages, by the virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater outcast. When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of all misgivings through complete knowledge, and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nescience is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals to him everything as the sun lights up everything in the daytime. Nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. The living being, however, are bewildered because of ignorance, which covers their real knowledge. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. When the embodied living entity controls his nature and mentally renounces all action, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. The steadily devoted souls attain unadulterated peace because they offer the results of all their activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. The yogis, abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses, only for the purpose of purification. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering all the results unto the Supreme, is unaffected by sinful reaction, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them. A person in divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he does nothing at all. A person who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in devotional service to the Lord, cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service attains the Supreme without delay. One who knows that the position reached by analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, sees things as they are. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from the analytical study of material world, sankhya. But those who are actually learned say that one who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated, O mighty armed Arjuna. The personality of Godhead replied, work in devotional service and renunciation of work are both good for liberation, but of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Arjuna inquired, O Krishna, first of all you asked me to renounce work, and then again you recommended work with devotion. Now will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial?